What's up, folks? It's your boy NaptownBorn coming back at you once again. You're looking at the mirror image or the reflection of me in my back door. Probably see out back and stuff too. Let's just focus on that. Anyway, I'm making hamburgers for the kids. And there it is, as if it was on cue. I haven't been feeling well, so I haven't done any post-fight vids. I felt I needed to come on here and say a few things, though. I watched the first 2 rounds and then the 7th and 8th round of Glenn Johnson versus Alan Green. And if you guys watch my prediction video, you'll know 2 things. 1, I was wrong as hell. And 2, I really didn't care in the first place. And I still really don't. I like Men Take Bubble Bath intro about being a fan of Glenn Johnson, Lopez, Marquez. But I mean, I like Glenn Johnson, but I'm just not like a fan per se of his. The Road Warrior is the Road Warrior, but you know, I wasn't that interested in him fighting Alan Green. Let's just put it that way. But he got the knockout. He moves on to fight either Arthur Abraham or Carl Froch, so he's guaranteed at least one more big fight, and that's good for him. That's good for boxing. Glenn Johnson makes fights good, so. Aside from that, oh shit, that's not sitting well in my belly. Aside from that, Marquez Lopez, that stole the show for Showtime, really, for me, pretty much. It was a good fight, fight of the year candidate. If it was another year, I'd say no, but so far this year, it could be a candidate. But with all the exciting matchups we got coming up in November, December, it's likely not going to stay there. Because, for one thing, it wasn't really a back and forth. I gave Rafael Marquez, of course, the 4th on a 10-8, and I gave him the 5th, and I didn't give him any other rounds. I know there were some close rounds, but I think even in the close rounds, Lopez won them pretty cleanly. I don't think Marquez was going to last to decision, even if he would have answered the bell for the 9th. I would have gave him a couple more rounds before he went down. That being said, though, much respect to the guy. These guys banged it out. Lopez, the younger guy, came out on top, and it is what it is. Now, on to more. Okay, Guerrero Escobedo. Let's get that out of the way too. Guerrero impressed me. Escobedo looks like a guy who can make some noise when he makes that jump back down to, what was it, 130? Him and Guerrero fought at 135. Because Escobedo would be a much bigger guy down there, and I think he can really upset some people. Guerrero impressed me, though. He floored the guy twice, and as much as you probably would have liked to have seen Guerrero come the last 3 rounds and really bring it to Escobedo, it was unnecessary at that point because he'd already won the fight. He already had it in the bag. So I'm not mad at him. Guerrero versus Marquez or Katsidis, well, let's just wait till Marquez versus Katsidis before we start talking about that. On to the most important thing of the night for me was Zab Judah. I didn't make a video, but I did predict he'd win by decision. That being said, he should not have won. Lucas Matisse surely won that fight. I gave round 1, round 2 to Zab Judah, round 3, round 4 to Lucas Matisse, round 5 to Matisse, round 6 Judah, round 7 Matisse, 8-9 Judah, round 10 Matisse with a 10-8 round, then 11 and 12 all Matisse. So he pretty cleanly won that fight. I don't like. I am pretty mad. I am willing to call this a robbery. Even more so, I think it was even worse than Alexander Katolnik. I think that while I don't think Matisse blew him out, I really don't see any way that Matisse should have lost this fight. Zab's not back. Of course, I should have known that, but being the fan that I am, I'm sorry if this burger's a little too loud for y'all, or if it's messing stuff and the sound up or whatever. I really don't give a shit right now. Look, Matisse or Judah, watching them fight each other, I don't see either one of them making a run to the top of the 140 division. I do see Alexander, Tim Bradley, and Amir Khan being able to handle either one of these guys pretty well. Now, we'll see better when Amir Khan fights Maidana, and I'll find out if I'm right about him. I think he's going to handle Maidana and outbox him. And I don't think his chin's as suspect as people tend to make it out to be. So given that, while I appreciate that Matisse is kind of unknown and comes to the spotlight in a Zab fight where he should have won but doesn't get the decision, it kind of puts more limelight on him when it's controversy that surrounds it. So never take away that some of that stuff could have been on purpose too. I'm not much for scandals or conspiracy, but it just seemed pretty clear to me that Matisse won that fight. But he gets more popularity now by losing, but it being scandalous or unfair, controversial. He gets more attention that way, and that's going to be good for him. He can have some big fights coming up. But in those big fights, if he's fighting, like I said, one of those top 3 guys, or even the second tier that they listed there on Showtime, it's going to be real rough for him. Zab, he's just too old, and all the old Zab problems pop back up. He just fades. He can't keep it consistent, and there's just, even as much of a fan as I am of him, there's not much hope for him now. I still remain a fan, though. I like to watch him fight. Anyway, man, I'm going to get back to these burgers and making dinner for the kids. Y'all take it easy. This is NaptownBorn. Deuces.